Folks, this is our C2 Chapter 2 checkpoint assessment, slides 1 to 3. First things first, we're going to compare mixtures and compounds. We should know that mixtures are any two elements or substances which have been mixed together with no chemical bond, whereas a compound is exactly the opposite of that, where we have a chemical bond between the molecules or the atoms present therein. So let's have a look. First statement, the atoms of the two elements are joined together. That is our compound. And this join is what we refer to as the chemical bond. Let's have a look at something else. It's easy to separate into its elements. Well, that would be describing a mixture. Why? Well, there is no bond. If there's no bond, it's easier to separate. Okay. If we're trying to separate a compound, what we would need to use is a chemical reaction, maybe displacement, for example. Inside a mixture, the elements keep their own properties because the elements themselves are separate to one another, and so therefore the elements haven't been changed. In a compound, the properties are different from the properties of the elements. Take an example like iron sulfide. Iron sulfide is not magnetic, whereas the iron is magnetic. Now we're looking at some dissolving. We want to just choose the correct word. We've got sugar, which is being added to a beaker of water and stirred. Let's have a look. First thing first, the sugar disappears, and so therefore we'd say that the sugar dissolves in the water. And the water in this case is something that we call the solvent. The sugar that we're dissolving is the solute, and by adding those two together we are getting a solution. Solute plus solvent equals solution. Now we're going to try and separate a mixture of salt and sand, and we're assuming here that we're going to add some water here. Okay, so first things first, we're going to add some water to the salt and sand mixture. The reason that we're doing that is so that we can dissolve the salt. Remember, the sand will not dissolve. We're then going to filter it, and that will remove the sand from this mixture. And we're then going to pour the remaining solution, which is a salt solution, salt and water, and we're going to heat it so that the water will evaporate and will be left over with our solute, which is the salt.